And we are back continuing our conversation. When we left last, we were talking a little bit of getting into personal trainers running over people in cars. So let's talk about that a little bit. You know, Dale, you said you've had a few personal trainers in the past. Um, to you, if you could describe your ideal trainer, what would he or she look like?
Um, it could be a male or female.
Hmm.
Um, I think the most important thing for me is that he or she can get into my head,
Sure.
because getting healthy is not just a physical thing, it's also a mental thing.
Hmm.
For me, the physical, I can remember going to, like on the holidays, they would have these, down in the DC area, they would have these workout days because the kids would still be in school, but everybody else would be off, right? So
Right.
there was only 2 times a year this would happen for federal workers, right? Where the
Right.
kids are still in school, but you had the day off. And so they would have this big workout, class type of deal. They have African drummers, they'd have this, they'd have that, they'd have step, they'd have, a little bit of everything. And I'd be in there and I'd just get it done, get it done, get it done. I could do that.
Right.
But then I guess when we finish, we go to IHOP and kill everything that we did. And that
Oh,
was a constant thing. And that nobody told us that was wrong.
right.
Nobody told us that was wrong. Because, we're thinking, oh, we got to replenish because we done sweated ourselves to death.
Hmm.
We had a good time. We know we lost at least a good 5 pounds in this 3 hour, 4 hour deal, and it
Right.
was that time without kids of let's go out and eat. And then you get a big stack of pancakes along with some eggs and bacon, and you call it a day.
Right.
I didn't eat the rest of that day, but nobody told us that was wrong. That's
Sure.
not recovery. That's
Nope.
just partying and then chilling and eating afterwards.
Yeah.
And so that particular trainer would be there with us.
Eating
She's there
along.
with us, eating along with us. And then I start thinking like, wow, she's as thick as I am.
Right.
So why would I think I'm unhealthy? Right? No. It wasn't until I started having conversations with you and understanding how food reacts to the body
Right.
and how exercise reacts to the body
Hmm.
made me realize that all of these years I was doing this stuff, I was doing it wrong, Um, so that's one piece of it, right? The other piece of it is if they come to me hard and criticizing me, that's not going
Hmm.
to help me.
That's
That's
right.
just going to feed my insecurities even more,
Hmm.
right? So for me, a good trainer is someone that understands me, that can get in my head, that understands what my that what's going on with me. It may be different than what's going on with another one of their clients, but they
Uh-huh.
just have to understand that every person is different, everybody is different, and everybody reacts differently to different machines and weights and
Your people
all
coming
that
here
kind of
showing off. You see this?
stuff. But um, it's just very true. Those things are very different, and
Hmm.
um, you know, understanding that is great. Also, having a trainer that understands training,
Hmm.
right? I've had a trainer that was like, okay, yeah, go in there, get on the bike for 15 minutes. Doesn't explain to me why I need to get on the bike for 15 minutes. Just
Hmm.
get on the bike 15 minutes because I got to work with somebody else that's already in here that I've already started working with. So go ahead and maybe warm up 15 minutes on this bike, but doesn't say put the put the um, put the bike on setting 3 to give you that
Hmm.
type of resistance. None of that. Just get on the bike, So you're still kind of doing it yourself and
Right.
you're relying on somebody. So you got these people that overbook themselves. So they really can't attend to you. So I don't want
Right.
that kind of trainer. So I've had that. Um, I've also had the trainer that was more interested in picking up women than working with women.
Right.
So if you had the booty size, which I did not have, uh, didn't get much attention from him, right? But it's okay. You learn these things by experiencing these things. And
Hmm.
so I had better discernment in
Right.
terms of understanding what to me a good trainer was, right?
Okay.
And so for me, they've got to understand my mind, understand my challenges, understand weights, because I'm going to ask, well, what is this going to do for me if I do this? Someone who's knowledgeable about the different weights,
Hmm.
understanding what circuit weights are versus free weights and how they work with the body. That's
Hmm.
important to understand. Understanding that warm up and what a warm up is, why we need to warm up.
Hmm.
Why is it necessary to warm up, right? Understanding that if you do something that's intimidating to you, take your time with it, but you'll get it done. Like the Stairmaster.
Like the
The
Stairmaster.
Stairmaster, that is like my biggest thing right now, right? I can't wait to get back on that booger because, when I get back, I'm going to get on that Stairmaster because I felt like I had accomplished something I never thought I could ever do. 30 minutes on a Stairmaster.
It's
What?
tough.
It
Listen.
wasn't
I've
easy.
been doing this. I've been doing it for 30 years. It
It
still kicks my behind.
it wasn't easy, but you know what kept me going was, even though you know you weren't standing right there next to me,
Hmm.
you made a point to say, "Come on, Dale, you got this."
Hmm.
And I would just hear that little bit, and I would just keep going. Before I knew it, I was 30 minutes
30
in. Man,
minutes in, that's it.
that was great.
That's and I think that the the best trainers are always the ones who do take time to not just listen to the words that the client is saying, but to see how their body is responding and see how their body language is while they're doing something. A lot of people
Mm,
can exude this big confidence. I can do it, and I'm massaging you. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna die. Let me make sure you don't pass out. So someone who's aware of their client makes a big deal to me. Um, I don't think that enough people take the time to understand their clients' cues, right?
mhm,
Um, Knowing exactly when that person is at their limit and say, okay, stop. That matters. Paying attention to when the form is breaking down or when they're half-assing it and they could do more. Knowing when to add more, take some away. All those parts matter to me as a coach or as a trainer. And I think a lot of people lose that because a lot of trainers may have read the book. A lot of trainers may have even took the test. Not a lot of trainers have done the stuff,
mm,
right? And I think that finding a trainer or a coach who's actually done the stuff matters. How can you like even me, as much as I can read about menopause, I can never tell you what it's like to have menopause, right?
right,
Because I'm never gonna have it.
right.
but but I can understand it and understand that all right, these are the symptoms, which is everything in the world. These are the symptoms, but how and when to push people during those different parts of their journey um, makes a big difference.
Right,
So knowing that men and women aren't going to respond the same,
right,
right?
right.
Knowing that a husband and wife can sign up at the same time and want to work out together, but knowing that you can't have a husband and wife that are both competitive people working out at the same time, right? Well, Walter, why not? Well, because the husband's going to progress faster than the wife is, and it's not because you're sexist or anything like that. It's because he has testosterone, she doesn't. So his response to the weights and resistance training and the cardio is going to be far faster than a significant other. What else do we know? We know that can be something that's negatively impacting her workout. So,
Mm,
and be negatively impacting his because now he's going to try to slow down to make her feel, and that whole protector mode between the husband and wife, it just doesn't work, right?
mm,
So the first week or two, great, but after that, you can't work at the same time. It's not going to work.
mm,
So understanding that and having enough experience and enough working knowledge to learn those things, that all matters. So Some of the best trainers um, spend a lot of their time on the psychological part. Me, I like the lifting weights part. That's just me because I'm really good at that stuff. But taking the classes and reading enough to understand and connect to people during those different parts of their journeys all matter to me too. Um, and that's what I think makes this place a little bit different, is because we find the way here to connect to our people. Because if I can do that, then that'll make you more confident about what you're doing and more likely to be successful, because we'll be able to reduce the opportunity for error, for mistakes and injuries. Because when you execute with confidence, then you're going to react to lifting the weight stronger, you're going to grip it stronger, you're going to work through it harder, and all those things. But when you're not as confident on a movement, your form deteriorates really, really quickly, and it's not as safe, and blah 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 blah. So having someone to listen, to understand, and observe and know what your capabilities are as a trainer, that's your responsibility, that's your job. And then knowing exactly when to push them, when to shove them, and when to grab them and pull them back in. So
Yeah.
and it takes time to do that. You're not going to get that as a trainer right away, and you're not going to get it right away with every person, because some people mask it really well. Some people may have had experience in the past, and you can see their experience, and then you can also see when they lose a little bit of what they're doing. So all those things all matter.
Mm. So let me ask you this. So when you see a client that is, um, I don't want to say just not following through with what you're suggesting them to do,
Mm-hmm.
but are just in a place where they are just struggling, but not being vocal with you
Sure.
about struggling, how do you reach them to find out that they're struggling?
Ask questions. You know, one of the good things about looking at bodies for a living is you can look at a body. You look at bodies for a living, and you should be able to look at someone when they're working out, when they're walking, when they're just standing there, um, if they're struggling with something.
Hmm.
And even if they're not vocal about it, it's your responsibility as a coach to get it out of them. It's your responsibility as a coach to reach them in a way they can't even seemingly reach themselves, to tell them that yes, they can. Uh, so um, I'm adamant about certain words in my studio. Can't is not a word that you're allowed to use in here. Um, I, I just don't let you. We're gonna fight and we're gonna go through it, and you can yell at me and scream me, and you're really not gonna win. So, but that's the key, is you have to be really, really, especially in the first 3 to 4 months with somebody, you've got to be really, really observant. You've got to really, really pay attention to them. Um, it's so much to the fact that even when you're not there and you built their workouts when you're not together, you should be able to know what exercises are going to be tough for them, and which ones aren't. So when you make the weekly follow up call, hey, how to go when you did this in particular, that those types of things are what your job is as a coach, as a trainer. You got to know those things. You got to know your person. So
Mm,
that's important.
that's good. I think people just, it's definitely an investment, right? Coaching,
Absolutely.
uh, getting a personal trainer is not cheap. Um, and, I think your average person may struggle with getting that amount of money together for a personal trainer. And some just say, I'm just going to go in there and do it on my own.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think that when you make a decision to hire yourself a personal trainer, you should definitely get someone that is going to be there for you. And that was one of the things that, to me,
Mm-hmm.
um, divided the trainers, right? From the
Right.
elite trainers to your average trainer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have those trainers who are new in the game.
That's right.
And I found that a lot of the newer trainers that are new in the game are personal trainers, and correct me if I'm wrong, but
Mhm.
are mainly the personal trainers you find in the big box gyms, right? And they work for the gym company, and they you sign your life away on their contracts, and you start working out with someone and you're doing well with them, and then all of a sudden they're not there.
That's right.
You
Quickly.
got to find out where's my trainer, and then you're like, oh, that person no longer with us. So here we go, we've got trainer B for you, and that trainer
Right.
B is going to work with you, but you've already started moving,
Hmm.
and you're finding yourself getting in that good space and working well with this trainer, and they're getting to understand you, and now you got to start all over again. That is disheartening.
Sure. I
That is
agree.
disheartening. And so
That's the
um,
hard part about this business. The business part. That's a nasty part of the game. Unfortunately, there is no one. There's not one specific governing body for being a personal trainer, right? So like, there's NASM, there's ESA, there's Action, there's Brooks Bush. There's 20 different places that you can get certified for. There's Girls Going Strong. There's all these ones that you can get certified in, and they're all going to be a little bit different. And they're going to cost a little bit more, cost a little bit less. All those things all happen, and sometimes the job will pay for it, sometimes you pay for it. So the level of the investment of the trainer is impacted by the income that they're going to earn at the particular place that they're working. So let's say LA Fitness, for instance, or Big Box Gym A. There, trainers will make minimum wage when they're not with the client, and then $20 an hour when they're working with the client. And then they quickly realize, well, shit, I can go on my own and charge $50 a session. Okay, but now you don't have access to a big gym, you don't have access to any of this stuff. So it becomes a rat race for the trainer. So then his or her effort is now directly impacting the client's, experience, because they're not getting the same deal across the board, business to business, blah 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 blah. And I think that it takes away from the positive experiences that people can have. I think you're right. People want to invest in someone that they know is going to be there for them, and
mhm.
that's going to be able to connect with them and continually make them stronger, better, faster, better butter burners, right? We want to burn through the fat as possible. We want to make our lives better, make ourselves stronger, and that's not the norm. There's no norm. So finding a trainer who's certified in whichever one, and then finding a trainer with experience, and then finding a trainer who's actually done the stuff. I think those are the three things that you have to look for when you're looking for a trainer. Just because he or she has a fantastic body does not mean they know what the hell they're doing,
Right,
right?
right,
Because I know plenty of women and plenty of men that look great, but that don't mean they know what they're talking about.
right.
You know, you want to look for someone. Yes, they should be certified through one of the larger governing agencies, whether it's ESA, NASM, whoever. I'm not promoting any of them. Just they should be certified through one of them. Um, they should also have experience in working with someone in your demographic, whether it's age, weight, male, female. They should to be able to connect and understand with you. They should have a personal working knowledge of lifting weights. They should be in my opinion. I could be, they should have been an athlete in college, or in high school. They should be actively working out. Um, you should not look better physically than your trainer does, in my opinion. Maybe
Mhm,
I'm jaded a little bit, but your trainer, when your trainer walks in the room or goes somewhere, oh, that person's a trainer. You know what I mean?
mhm.
That should be the conversation when that person walks in the room. If that's not the conversation, then maybe that's not the right type of trainer. But that's just my own biased opinion. So I try to live by it. I lift weights a lot. Um, my clients lift weights a lot. I do bodybuilding and powerlifting, and I think that your trainer should have those types of levels of experience, even if it's just at a local level, should have those types of experiences because he or she has a responsibility to you, the consumer, as them being a professional and understanding all of those things so they can better help you. That gives them a different type of way to draw it in. And I think that's important. Um,
Well,
under-
that knocks out a lot of people on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've seen. This is the ones that capture my eye sometimes, are the ones that say they've lost 100 pounds,
Yeah. And now
and
they're greater.
you know, come and join me. Got to be real leery of all of those
That's right.
because
And that doesn't even tell the whole story. You know, there are so many things that are dumb out there in the world. Oh, let me do this cabbage soup diet. What? It's like oh, yes, okay, great. You lost 100 pounds. Wonderful. How'd you do it?
right,
Well, I didn't eat for 4 months. Well, duh.
yeah,
How you look with no clothes on? How about that? That
yeah,
matters. You
yeah, it
know?
does.
Good. Grab a pair of 20s, do it one more time.
You can see he's still
Okay,
nothing gets past him. Nothing gets past him.
right. So I also think that the online businesses and nothing against them because if I could get 1 million people buying my $29.99 a month plan, I'd be happy too. But I just think that people should have a working knowledge of and a working level experience, and I think that it's equally as important for your trainer to be knowledgeable about nutrition as well,
Hmm.
because how your body expends calories thermogenically matters. So that's how fast your body heats up and how much calories you burn by breathing. All those things matter, and someone who understands that as an advocate on your team of medical professionals matter. And I say medical professionals intentionally because we see you more than your doctor sees you.
Hmm.
So when something's wrong, we're gonna know.
Right.
And if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna say, hey, you need to go investigate this because something's wrong.
And that's one thing that I've learned about a really good personal trainer. Like you said, when it's like when you I'm not gonna say diagnose, but you watched me walk in one day and you said you're imbalanced. What's going on?
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I've learned um, in my when I was gaining my wellness coaching
Mm-hmm.
certification was
Mm-hmm.
um, that a personal trainer has a level of responsibility for those that they are training
Mm-hmm.
in terms of understanding them physically
Yes.
and ensuring that they're physically healthy even when they're doing certain exercises. They need to still be physically healthy, and that you should not be doing anything to harm anyone, right?
Correct.
And you can find a lot of trainers who may take that side of the road of, well, I didn't know, and because I didn't know, I don't hold me responsible or accountable for what happened to you,
Yeah.
type of deal. um, but in fact, we have to do, as a consumer, as a
Mm-hmm.
person that wants a personal trainer, we have to do our due diligence to ensure that the trainer is, like you said, certified,
Mm-hmm.
that the trainer does have a little bit of knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with you as a consumer questioning the person that you're going to hire to train them, to
And look
ensure
after your body. I
those-
mean,
the knowledge. Yeah, exactly. Um, because one of the things that I've learned going into the big box type of gyms and working with those trainers are, they ask you the ho hum kind of questions, like,
mm-hmm.
when was the last time you've been in the gym? When was the last time you um, did any running? Those very general questions
Yeah,
um, that really don't give them the full picture. It
exactly.
really doesn't.
It
And
should take 10, 15 minutes for you to fill out a survey, in my opinion.
yeah,
Answers because it's not just when the last time you exercised or ran. It's what meds are you on?
yeah, Exactly.
Are you on something that's slowing your heart rate down? Are you on something that's speeding your heart rate up? Are your
Right.
blood thinners? All those things matter to the type of exercise we're going to do because it may be almost impossible for you to get to a cardio burning zone on the treadmill, not because you're not trying hard, but just because you're on a beta blocker and it ain't gonna
And it goes-
work.
and
So
that's important.
that's important to know, and people don't understand. People don't know how that can impact your workout, and
Right.
because they don't know how that can impact your workout, they're not going to ask the questions to make
Right.
that make sense. And
Right.
if they give you a meal plan, or they give you a meal plan, it's going to impact your meds. How do we make some folks just it's more than I don't eat that, I don't eat this. It's should you eat this and should you eat that, and that's your responsibility, in my opinion. Like I said, as a coach, uh, yeah, I think that's the
But that's so critical. That's so important. That is just so, so important. And
yeah.
for anyone that's watching us, I think it's important that you understand that when you're going to hire a personal trainer,
Mhm.
you know, you are the one that's pushing that button. So make sure that person is going to work for you. And if they don't, have the courage to say thank you, but no thank you.
Right.
And sometimes we have a hard time saying that thank you, but no thank you.
Mhm.
But for your own betterment, and so that your journey is a journey that you enjoy.
Right.
Weight loss and getting fit, it should not be a punishment. It should be something you enjoy. And
Correct.
and it's something that you should never be able to walk away with without understanding or learning what you did, why you did it, and how it's impacting your body.
Mhm. Exactly.
So
And your trainer should be able to give you confidence in what you're doing. He or she shouldn't make you feel self-conscious about what you're doing. Um, that's kind of the reason that what I've noticed about the big, huge gyms is they can be intimidating. Like, even visiting every gym. Like, I like going to gyms. I mean, it's my thing. So when I go out of town, I like going to big fancy gyms, and if there's one available, let's go check them out. So, I went to Gold Gym in Venice Beach, one of the most spectacular places,
wow.
in the world to go work out. Outside the fact there's a lot of great bodies to look at. Outside of that part, you know, eh, there you can tell the difference between folks who just are walking in and just looking there like I don't know what to do next, okay, and then they go right to the treadmill versus coming to a smaller place where there's not as much stuff or there's everything there but there's not 10 of everything, but people are actually helping folks learn and understand the machines. And that's my goal here is I want to be able to touch and feel, I guess, whatever. It's 2025, figure it out. Touch and feel all my clients because I need them to understand how all the machines work. I
Mm,
want you to know with confidence that you can go to any gym, any facility in the world, look at a machine, even if you've never seen it before, look at the angles and where all the buttons, knobs, and switches are. You know what? I know what this does. Let me use this. Right? And I want people to have that confidence that they can do that when they're not with me. Yes.
that's
And
important.
and that's important, right? Because Walter's not always going to be here. Walter's going to retire eventually.
What? No, you can never retire. No, I'm
Right.
just
Yeah. 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 So it's my responsibility to leave you better than when we found each other. So you have to know how everything works. You have to know how to build your own workout. You have to know what your plate when you go eat should look like. You've got to know all these things. And if I've done my job right, or your trainer has done their job right, then you will. You'll be able to go out of town and stay in a hotel and say, you know what? I got this. Let me put together a dumbbell workout. Oh, cool. You only got a universal machine. I can do a full body workout with universal machine. Whatever it is, you should be able to build a plan.
that's good, and that's important.
Yeah.
That really is important.
3 sets of 12, 1 set of 20.
I miss that. I miss that.
She's missing you, Val.
I need you to come home.
Minnesota has been a wonderful experience, but I'm ready to get back so I can get back into my routine. I do miss it. And I
Good.
never have said that.
Mike, what's that?
Looking back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I would have never have said I miss being in the gym. And
Right.
people talk about being gym rats.
Mm-hmm.
And I had never, ever, ever have ever thought of myself as being a gym rat. But what I've learned is not that I'm a gym rat. What I'm learning is that the gym really speaks to me in terms of keeping my mind in a place of positivity
Sure.
and keeping my body feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not exercising, it feels good. When I'm not in a place where, like, being here, negative 21 degrees, I can't be outside. I can't get that done. I don't have gym equipment. So I'm using what tools that you've given me here,
Mm-hmm.
but my body feels like it needs more.
Right.
And I know I will get that more when I go back to the gym.
Yep.
I've never experienced that before, and I'm
Right.
experiencing that a lot right now. But I'm happy that I'm experiencing it because now I understand it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that everybody who is new to the gym game and gets in the gym, will start learning these as you start having conversations,
Mm-hmm.
your personal trainer, uh,
Mm-hmm.
having conversations with others that are in the gym that are working towards the same goal, which is not to be an Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Nope.
not to you know to well, we'd all love to have the body of Angela Bassett, but that may not be our bone structure or our muscle structure
Right.
to feel as good as she looks. I think that's what all of our goals are, to
Got it.
feel as good as the Arnold Schwarzeneggers or the Walter
Mm-hmm.
Stellers or
Mm-hmm.
the other people that are, in the competition
Mm-hmm.
of uh, of of living, right?
Right.
I think that is, we want to feel good,
Right.
and but we equate to feeling good as someone who has a size 18 waist or a size 20 waist, and
Mm-hmm.
it has the Angela Bassett look, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But for me, I've just realized that it's not that I want to look like them. I just want to feel good.
Got
And
it.
I think that's what feeling good would do for me, would make me feel like the Angela Bassett's of the world.
And that's the part that people don't get about working out. It's not about looking like all the other folks. Right. It is just what you just said. It's about how you feel about you, and to restore your confidence, or to increase your confidence, or create your confidence for yourself, is what the gym does. Because doing something that you didn't know you could ever do, and then once you start doing it, doing more.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And there's something different about what you get from someone who works out and someone who doesn't. When you're interviewing someone for a job, in my opinion, if they work out, then they understand the principle of delayed gratification,
Mm,
right? And they understand that everything doesn't happen all at once.
mm,
And to me, that's the type of person that it takes to be a good leader, to be a good employee, a good employer, someone who understands that fact. There is no, there is Amazon Prime isn't coming tomorrow with your new body, so you need to work on it today.
damn Amazon.
So you know, so I guess that would be my keys to a trainer. Does he or she have a certification? Does he or she have their own practical working knowledge of it? Does he or she have experience working with somebody who looks and feels like you? And finally, are they, a practitioner of all the things that they're asking you to do? And that should be the checklist. Oh, and they look the part, right? That should be the checklist of what the average he or she should look for at a gym. Not everyone's going to be able to find a Charles Glass or find a Billy Blanks or a Sean T to be your coach. So
Or David Goggins.
or Goggins, right, to be your coach.
Right.
Most places have just normal guys who understand how your body moves, understand the science, and have executed the behavior, on their own. And that should be something that's enough. And if they know enough about nutrition to get you on the right path, then you'll be in good hands, in my opinion. So
That's good.
that's what I got, Miss Dale. I think that this was great. It was fun.
Yeah, it was. It
It
was
was
fun.
enjoyable. So we're gonna come back next week. I came with a couple of new ideas while we were sitting here talking, and I think that each week we're gonna bring you new stuff, and we're gonna talk about different. Today I got a couple: how your family impacts your workout, emotional eating, the misinformation in fitness. I just came with a bunch of ideas just while we were sitting here. So we're gonna be exploring new different types of content with different types of inputs, and eventually we'll get into interviewing some other folks who are definitely in this fitness community, who are definitely big folks. I've got some good friends, and maybe Dale has some friends in other spaces where we can talk about how having a healthy workforce impacts productivity.
Oh, for sure. For sure. For
So
sure.
these are the types of things that we want to talk about to make it better.
Okay. And I came up with a couple new ones I was thinking about.
You write them down.
One is, I did write them down, but I want to
Okay.
tell you because I'm sure people are going to want to hear about this. What to wear and what not to wear in the gym.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a big dilemma when you're first going into the gym,
Right.
right? And what is the gym etiquette? What is
Gym
what's the
etiquette. I like it.
Yeah, you see people sitting there on their phones. They're sitting there using the bench. They sit there for 30 minutes and they haven't done anything.
Ain't lifted one weight.
Not a weight, but they're filming themselves doing everything, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, gym etiquette. What does that look like?
Okay. We'll talk about that. So we'll bring in next week. We'll have a new topic for you guys. We ain't gonna say what it is till we talk about it first.
Yeah. For sure.
But thank you to our sponsors, and please click like, subscribe, comment, do all the stuff. Tell us what you want us to talk about, and we'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Peace.
Peace.